Yes, James Bond, 2021, I guess. We're still in 21. It seems like the year that wouldn't go away. Just like 20, it's all good, but it's not all good. You know what I mean? But anywho, this is your break from all the shit out there. We're gonna talk about James freaking fucking Bond. I'm gonna call him like it is. James fucking Bond. That should be his name, because there is only one spy that is the king of the spies in modern history, entertainment, novel, even if it's a novel version or a movie or a freaking cartoon or a t-shirt or a yo-yo or a burrito named James Bond, it would be the king. He's just, it has been more than 40 years since I saw my first James Bond. And I'm not sure if it was the first Roger Moore or it was the last Sean Connery. I can't remember my first James Bond. Oh yeah, I can. Because my brain just told me something with a thunder. Is one of them called Thunderbolt or something like that? I think it has. It was a Sean Connery, and mind you, at that time when you saw a movie, it was almost never a premiere, a world premiere. It was on video or in television or one of the, yeah. Even at the cinema at that point in my town, though it was very close to Copenhagen, actually in Copenhagen, the community, what do you call that? But yeah, inside Copenhagen's county, so to speak. But in our cinema, in our theater, local, it was like, if it was a new movie, first time shown in the cinema, it was at least a half year old, sometimes even 2 or 3 or 4 years old. It would be like, they call it a repremiere på dansk, on Danish, sorry. So yeah, so I can't, I wasn't, at that point as a kid, I wasn't at a James Bond premiere. Long story short. But I loved James Bond from minute one. It was like, oh yeah, that's a real guy. It collided with my, that was also the same couple of years I play with action man figures. And I was into war and soldiers and anything that could shoot. Cowboys, Indians, Tarzan, even Prince Valiant at a point. So yeah, James Bond was the shit. Even Sean Connery. And at that point, I remember, because it was... James Bond always had that feeling about it, like... what can you compare it with? Like the ultimate in the genre, the ultimate spy. It was like they could just have called him like Spy King. What's your name? King. Spy King. You know, Bond, James Bond. Shaken, not stirred. And it was action. It was made in England, so it had that quality all over it, like a lot of do bear in mind that they shot most of Star Wars original in England when they used the studio. You know what I mean? The big studio. What's the name of it? Pinewood, something like that. I don't know. It's England. It is over in England. I know they got big studios in Hollywood, but one of the biggest and most used big studios is in England. And James Bond use it, of course, all the time when they make a James Bond movie. And so you have that quality, that big scope, that widescreen suspense, adventure, spy adventure, drama, and action. Did I say action? And you got a lot of action. When you say James Bond, you also say action. And by the way, if I'm going to talk about the new movie in 2 seconds, but it's important for me to establish my knowledge or where or how much I love or not James Bond. And the long story is, I'm not the biggest fan in the world. I was the biggest fan in the world when I was 10. I even drew spy drawings at that point. A lot. Still have a few of them left. Funny spy with glasses, and with a Bogart hat and a big cotton coat with the, straight jacket. Yeah, the flip, up flip, erect flip. Is that the flip was very erect on the spy jacket. That sounds wrong, but you know what I mean, because they have to hide like Batman and Prince Valiant. Oh, that was a joke. I think I mentioned Prince Valiant earlier. Prince Valiant, forget about Prince Valiant. Fuck Prince Valiant. But it was at the same time I was reading Prince Valiant, and Tarzan, and Hulk, and Dracula, and Dracula, Marvel Dracula at that point, and we even had they had a concerning the comic books. I just remembered. I even had some spy comic books, small ones also, very old. So yeah, spies are cool. That's a long story. Sorry, but James Bond is a very big thing in my family also. My daddy, my granddaddy's favorite was also James Bond and John Wayne. And John Wayne was my mom's dad, and James Bond was my dad's dad. So yeah, hero. So and then my dad and mama went just the other day to cinema and saw the new one. And this is the funny story. And I am spoiling the end right now. So if you don't want, if you don't want to have this movie spoiled at all, you should not listen to this. I think you should go skip a couple of minutes into the video, or maybe I don't know how long. But I'm gonna tell the story, because how did my mama spoil the ending on No Time to Die? That's easy. Every Wednesday, I go home to my mom and dad, and we have coffee, we have cake. It's a half day ceremony. We start at 1 o'clock, and we're done in the evening. And we also have dinner, homemade dinner. That's the best. That's living. And your mama's gravy. Yeah. In Denmark we call it brun sauce. Yeah. Try to say that. Brun sauce. Sauce. That's a Danish word that means sauce or sauce. Sauce. Huh? You learned something during these videos, you little bastard, you. But back to how the James Bond was spoiled. First off, my mama is the baddest liar in the world, and I guess I got that from her also. That's the reason why I never lie, because I don't know how to. My face don't know how to lie. It's like if I try to lie, my face will tell the right story. And my mama is exactly like that, but you can multiply it by far. It's kind of funny. You can even see if she's quitting to try during it. But here goes, yeah. So she's saying, and they just saw it in cinema, and I didn't see, I was not reaching my point on viewing this movie. So yeah, maybe at this point I was not. I don't care about spoiling that much. Spoiling the whole internet, YouTube spoiler alert is a joke for me, because why talk about movies if you're not allowed to tell anything about it other than, oh, that make my tummy hurt, No, we're gonna talk about the movies, and if you don't want to listen to what happens inside the movie, you should not watch reviews. That's the whole point of a review, is commentating on the narrative or the movie, the whole spiel, the whole art piece. So yeah, of course, you don't say who lives or die at the end if it concerns the hero. I know that would be like, as we say, spoiling it. But for me, that would be a real spoiler. That would be when even I would say, "Excuse me, we have a term called spoiler alert. You just told me who died." And it was Superman, and it's not cool. So the way my mama, yeah, I went to the house. It was Wednesday, yes, and we also talk. Every Wednesday we talk about movies, TV series, what they think is cool, and my mama can't remember that good, so we have the same kind of movie talk every Wednesday. Some of it also new, but let's just say the way my mama talks about movies is who lives or who dies, or who gets, who buys the farm, whatever. Not like in a death way, but who gets married. The big. She's touching on the big ones. She's not talking about all the in between, the detail in the action scenes. She's just commentating directly on the ending, because for her it's all about the ending. Her favorite movie is Gone with the Wind, and if you ever saw that movie, it has, that's an ending you're never gonna forget. And she tells me that every Wednesday also. But yeah, but she made somehow it was very clear, because all of a sudden it was like she was talking about, oh yeah, the title was all wrong, No Time to Die. And I was like, what are you talking about, Mama? My dad said in Danish, "Han har ikke set den endnu." That means you haven't seen it yet. So maybe you should not have said the title is wrong, because it should have been Time to Die. And then it becomes very clear how bad she is a liar, because then she goes, oh yeah, he hasn't seen it. Anybody could die. there's a lot of people in a movie. And she rolls her eyes, and she's, the color is very reddish. She's so bad. I can't even do it justice. It's better than me trying to make it obvious. It was like, you don't need to say anything more, Mama, because you just told me James Bond is dying. you know. Okay. Shit. Fuck. That would be if I went into this movie knowing James Bond, not knowing the title was all wrong, son. I would not guess James Bond would die. I'm like, so this is my review from now on. Now we are going into the review. I'm gonna rewrite that and say review. But damn. First off, it has one of the. What is it about the James Bond movie intro? This intro is over. This is on the plus side of 25 minutes. So and then you get a song. And apropos my mama and dad, especially my dad, I think it was like the song sucked ass. End quote. I should say. I was word by word. Yeah, kind of. Like it was fucked. My dad is pretty outspoken when he doesn't like things. A thing or a name or a dude or a girl or whatever, a movie, anything. He's very to the point. Like his, if I'm quoting the Pierce Brosnan James Bond, he's super gay. Because my mama think he's the most sexiest. If she's like answering the question, who's the best James Bond? Oh, Pierce Brosnan. Pierce Brosnan is the greatest James Bond of all. And then my dad will say, in the background, he's super fucking gay. And I will give my mama, I will support her. I am my mama's son, and I would go. Pierce Brosnan, he's super cool, because he is freaking fucking super cool. He's Pierce fucking Brosnan. He looks like I always when I talk to my mama, I say I call him like a underwear model. He's the perfect underwear model, Mama. Yeah, he is underwear model for sure. Carsten, you're so funny. My mama, she thinks I'm funny. I don't know why. I always make her crack up in tears. Not always, but often, almost every week. I think that's a if we're not into this life, making it sweeter for especially our closest, we're not into this life. But back to James Bond. It was a very peculiar one, I would say. It has, as I said, a big opening, a very long opening. It has like 14 openings, and then it opens. It has a supervillain. I think his name is Spectra, played by the same dude who played Freddie Mercury in Bohemian Rhapsody. And he plays him like a fucking snooze fest. What a dweeb. What a douche. What a fucking boring villain. Don't get me wrong, I don't think the movie sucked. I think this was a very unusual James Bond, and I would even buy it very cheap on Blu-ray. Let's say, one of these $5, but in Danish crowns, titles, maybe $7, euro, around that. That would be my price for this movie. It's very long. It's 2 hours and 45 minutes, and so does it have that much action in it? Not 2 hours and 45, but does it? You're gonna have to, if you're gonna call yourself a James Bond movie, and funny enough, they're not doing that in this, because it's just, in my knowledge, this is just called No Time to Die. And Momma don't agree. It was like, I was wrong, you know. But if you're gonna call, if you're making a James Bond, you have to have a certain percentage of action. That's as I told you, I seen every James Bond movie. I don't know if I told you that, but that was my meaning of my whole intro speech. It's like I seen them all, and I seen them all more than once. Some of them I've seen, like 10 or 20 or maybe even 40 times. I think The Spy Who Loves Me with Roger Moore, I think that was the name. Something. The one with the ski. I loved that movie as a T. The ski intro, Roger Moore intro. I can't even remember it's been too long since I saw that one, but I think I saw that one 30 or 40 times. But if you're making a James Bond, you're not making a snooze fest, and I think this one was holding back on the action too much. Don't get me wrong, when we get some action, it's very cool. And funny enough, the opening scene is the best action scene in the whole movie. And, I think that should be enough for me to say I rest my case, because, come on, the opening scene is the best action in 2 hours and 45 minutes. No wonder they kept it going for almost a half an hour, because maybe they made that longer, like after they edited the whole movie, just to flesh it out, to get some more good stuff in the whole movie altogether. I don't know. It was very cool, especially if you, as I do, love the old Aston Martin, the old gray Aston Martin with the machine gun headlights. You're gonna love the intro, because that's the coolest fucking Bond car scene ever, maybe. It was like, and that also gets your hope up to, if they're gonna make an intro with the old, Sean Connery Bond car like that, they're gonna top them all, they're gonna top the rest of the movie also with something spectacular. We're gonna see him surf on we're gonna see him make Tom fucking, Seinfeld, Top Gun, Mission Impossible look like fucking Dora the Explorer. Like, he's gonna get kicked out of the Masonic temple for sure. Or is it Scientology? I don't know. But they don't. They're taking another route. They're introducing another James Bond. Maybe that's why it's not called James Bond 007 or something like that. And then a tagline. It's called No Time to Die. But in spy code, that would mean time to die. It's a spy movie. You should say that to yourself. No time to die. That means that's too safe of a title. It's like, and knowing he's dying, it's like, it's a pretty bad title. No Time to Die. But yeah, I was talking about there's simply not enough great. The action stuff is not there, and when it's there, at the end, and in the beginning, it's pretty fucking cool. We get some one-on-one with, he's also fighting and shooting like, James Bond, or would you call it John Wick in 2021. The modern type, the tech team style approach, one-man tag team, but yeah, as if they were in a group. But I could point out a lot in this movie I don't think is the best it could be. I'm actually kind of bored over the fact that we get a new 007, because in this movie he's actually retired. The Daniel Craig character that used to be 007 now is only James Bond, living on his own, and had a kid or had not a kid. Yeah, spoiler alert. She has my eyes. So is it a James Bond kid in the making? Yeah. They're making like sure they can at some way maybe go with the new 007, who's also in this movie. That's a black female. If you're concerned about or thinking, well, yeah, what is it? Is it a sheep or is it a donkey? No, it's a girl, and that's cool. It's very 21. We need that. It's like we never had it before. Barbarella, and the fucking whole list is long. Superwoman is not a new character. So, but yeah, we got a girlish Bond 07, and so we get introduced to, and she's kind of boring. She's boring as hell, because it's like she's only there for us to get used to her being there. And then he have a 5-year-old kid, and that also seems like the same deal. It's like opportunities waiting to happen, maybe. But how did the fans react? Are we going to go Black 07, or are we going to go, Daughter 07, or are we going to go them both, or are we going to go the third option, and that's not in the movie? Or is it? We're going to turn back time. Bond is not going to die. Or that was just a dummy. He jumped through the crack in the ceiling. Or was it the floor? I don't know. Anything can happen. But yeah, as I told you, we have a villain returning. We even have a Danish actor. Doing a Russian dude, and he's embarrassing. His accent, his Russian accent in this one is like, it's almost better than my English, And it's like he's becoming a caricature. It's like, "Ooh, I'm gonna fuck you up." It's like he's talking about. I'm not an actor, so I'm not gonna try, but I can try to put words on it. And I'm thinking a Muppet Chef. It's embarrassing. I'm embarrassed over this. So please don't hate Denmark because of the Danish food playing a Russian stereo caricature. Dang, that was bad. But my biggest, and then just to round the whole movie off in that section, as I said, the Bohemian Rhapsody villain was a snooze fest. So the whole threat of the world, as we know it, it's the same old, same old. He's gonna poison the whole world. He's gonna make an invisible agent. He's gonna kill them all, just like a COVID script. It's as a, and then it gets tired because it reminds you of the situation we're in right now. You don't want to see a Bond movie that echoes the COVID. They should have gone another way. There must be a ton of villains we could have had, bigger or smaller. So anywho, and my biggest as I was going to concern in this movie is, why kill James Bond? Just because we're in a period in TV shows and movies right now where it's popular to kill the hero. You don't kill James Bond unless you have to. That was a big freaking letdown, and they killed him like he was Godzilla, because Godzilla is big right now. He got bombed the shit out. It's like a Godzilla shot. When you see Bond dies in this, he's just standing there and he's getting bombed the shit out of his boots. And maybe it was like to tell us, no, we're not fucking around. He's not gonna show up in a play by another character. If we are going this way with this character again, we have to go back and reboot the whole fucking franchise for the 9th or 8th time. I don't know how many times they rebooted. I guess in my world, every time we get a new James Bond to play, a new actor to play the character James Bond 007, it's a reboot. It's been that forever in my head. So all in all, it was I was in the entertainment in it was good. I was pretty good entertained during the whole show. It had a good Sunday spy movie feel to it, like very well produced and very, very pretty to look at and satisfying to look at. The whole score in itself was maybe the best in this one. And we get some odd situations. At the beginning of the movie, I thought he was driving in a car with his daughter, and it turned out to be his new wife. And I was thinking, what? How old is she? And but she looks younger than she is in reality. So yeah, it was just like too many weird things in a Bond movie for me to handle. To give it a high. It's not the best Daniel Craig, I would say. Also, it's a good one, but it's on the latter part. Kind of a shame he had to go out literally like that. So yeah, and that was how my mama spoiled the ending of the James Bond also. Oh my god. Shit. But anywho, thank you for watching, and domo arigato. I hope you like it. How much would I, out of 10, I would give this a small 7, but a 7, not an 8. No, 7. Yeah. Darth Vader is watching. Thank you for also, and I love you. Thank you. See you next time. Bye now.